Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Housing Secretary, Labour's fiery standard bearer for workers' rights, now finds herself in a profoundly awkward position of being picketed by her own civil servants. Yes, the very ministry charged with implementing Labour's Employment Rights Bill is facing industrial action over rigid office attendance policies and office closures. If satire were not already dead, this would surely be its apotheosis. The PCS union, no slouch when it comes to rhetorical thunder, has declared that Miss Rayner's ministry is not only ignoring flexible labour trends but actively rowing against them. One might recall Jacob Rees-Mogg prowling Whitehall corridors during the pandemic, leaving passive-aggressive missed you notes on empty desks. The irony is now complete. The woman determined to expand workers' rights is in practice replicating the theatrical inflexibility of a Tory traditionist. Let's consider the facts. Civil servants in the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government were instructed to attend the office 60% of the week, roughly 3 days, with the added complication of office closures in cities such as Newcastle, Exeter and Warrington. And these aren't mere logistical reshuffles. The closures represent a contraction of government presence in precisely those left-behind areas that Labour has pledged to revitalise. And the PCS has framed the dispute as a matter of livelihoods, dignity and consistency. Fran Hesketh, its General Secretary, delivered the punchline with suitable force. The Deputy Prime Minister must match her words with action and listen to her own workers. Quite. And herein lies the problem, not of ideology, but of trust. If you don't trust your workforce to be productive while working remotely, then you are not reforming the culture of work. You're merely shifting the chains from visible to invisible. Flexibility, if contingent upon surveillance or imposed with rigidity, is not flexibility at all. It's obedience masquerading as progress. And Rayner's legislative package promises to grant full employment rights from day one, to extend the strike mandate window, and to empower trade unions. These are noble ambitions and in principle admirable, but they sit uneasily beside an internal office regime that treats civil servants like truant children, not trusted professionals. One might ask, how does one advance the cause of labour if one doesn't really trust labour? Lord Hunter Wirral, ever the sceptic, warned that the employment bill was not only anti-business but also anti-worker. That's hyperbole, but his criticism gains weight when the Deputy Prime Minister cannot align her own departmental culture with the spirit of the legislation that she's championing. And let's not ignore the fiscal context. The Office for Budget Responsibility has bluntly warned that these reforms may inflict net negative impact on the economy, not just through cost, but by reducing the flexibility businesses have come to rely upon. And this criticism mirrors that of businesses that are now lobbying for the bill's dilution. Rayner's dilemma is therefore twofold. First, how to push a pro-worker legislative agenda without alienating business confidence. Second, how to embody that agenda credibly while overseeing policies that run counter to its ethos. Perhaps the most urgent lesson here is one of coherence. The electorate can forgive many things, but not hypocrisy. You cannot be both the guardian of employment rights and the enforcer of an inflexible top-down control, not without risking ridicule or revolt. So what then should Miss Rayner do? First, she must recognise that work culture is not built on some sort of tyranny. It's built on mutuality, not authority. Flexible working, hybrid arrangements, regional balance. These are not bourgeois indulgences, but essential features of modern employment. And if trust is not baked into policy, neither productivity nor morale will follow. Second, she must revisit the optics and the substance of these office closures. A government claiming to decentralise power should not be shuttering its physical presence in the regions it professes to serve. And third, she must listen, not theatrically, but sincerely, to the very civil servants whose job it is to implement her vision. If they don't believe in the ministry's practice, why should the country believe in it? Why should the country believe in any promises Rayner is making if she can't keep them in her own house? Rayner's challenge is a microcosm of Labour's broader task to balance principle with practicality, aspiration with delivery, rhetoric with reality, and if she fails to do so within her own department, what hope is there for the nation? If you can't win the confidence of your own workforce, in other words, perhaps you're not ready to redesign the country's.